What if I told you there's a way you could get way more leads than you're currently getting, get more of those leads to buy, and then do so without increasing your ad spend at all? I'm George Kapernaros, I run YOCTO. YOCTO is a lifecycle marketing agency, and we've driven over 150 million in trackable lifecycle revenue. The strategy that I'll share with you today is something that most businesses flat out don't do at all, and the few businesses that do it wrong. So what happens is that most e-commerce companies send people to the website immediately and ask people to buy right away. But the problem is most visitors aren't ready to buy just yet. So they leave the website and they never come back. Now, the few businesses that do understand this use what we call active lead capture mechanisms or pop-ups, capture those visitors and easily retarget them over time. But the thing is, the way most companies use pop-ups is flat out wrong. And I'm gonna show you in this video what the optimal setup is. And spoilers, there's more than one pop-up that you should be having on your website. Before I give you an advice, I want to show you that what I'm telling you works. This is a real example, one of our brands. We are looking at an attentive dashboard here. You can see this is pop-up number one. It's a desktop version. It has a relatively common offer. It's gift with purchase. And then there's another pop-up here, which is the same pop-up, but this time it's on mobile. And it converts pretty well. Like we have around 72,000 emails converted in total, and then around almost like 40,000 SMS converted. So approximately half of our email subscribers are giving us their SMS, which is pretty good. And then what you see below, which you don't often see, is that we have additional pop-ups that are actually converting more than the regular pop-ups that you would typically see in an e-commerce store. And those are net new. They are on top of the main pop-ups. The main pop-ups, they trigger fairly quickly, almost immediately. And of course, the logic to this is that you're gonna maximize this number here. You're gonna get the maximum number of impressions that you can. You want the most people to see the offer, capture as many of those as you can. But obviously, think about it from your standpoint. You go to a website and then you see a pop-up right away. There's a pretty high chance that this is annoying to you. And then you will close it right away because you actually want to take a look at the website before you give out any of your info, your email or your SMS. So those new pop-ups that I'm going to teach you how to build today, actually triggering for this audience, the audience that gets annoyed. And you have to be clear on what's happening on your pop-up conversion metric. Like imagine that you have people coming to the website, which would be this like large bar down here. Imagine that this represents 1,000 visitors, and then 20% of those sign up to receive your emails or SMS or whatever it is that you're collecting through your pop-up. You might think of this as a win. You might say that, oh, actually 20% is a very high conversion rate for my pop-up. But what you don't see actually is that what it means is that you actually failed to convert 80% of people. If you think about it in the opposite way, that's what's really happening, because everybody's going to see a pop-up that comes immediately, or almost everybody. And then if 20%, let alone 5%, which is what most of you actually get on your pop-ups, converts, then it really means that you are doing a very bad job at capturing those leads, does it not? So what this second pop-up does is that it takes this and it increases this significantly. And you would say, is this not annoying? No, it's not, because actually the conversion rate that those secondary pop-ups have, and I'm going to show you how to create them in a moment, is actually significantly higher than your main pop-ups. So people are less annoyed by them than the immediate pop-up that you have at the beginning. And again, this is all pure incremental net new people that you are adding to your account, and they purchase and they subscribe and they keep paying you over time. So it's actually a very, very important step that you can take to improve the results of your company. It will add more people to your flows, more people to your campaign segments, more paying subscribers that you retain month over month without paying over and over and over again to reacquire new customers. It can be a massive shift. And I promised you I'd show you results cross brands. So I showed you this on Attentive. Let me show you this on Klaviyo as well. Take a look at this. So the main pop-up has converted 2,340 people which results in 21K in revenue. And this extra pop-up that we're talking about has converted 446 people and generated 11,000 in revenue. So think about this. It's almost 50% up in terms of revenue, and it's approximately 1/3 up in terms of signups. And then again, you would say, is this annoying people? Is it too much? But the numbers tell a very clear story. The percentage of people that sign up through this pop-up is meaningfully higher than the main pop-up. And I could show you many more examples, but that's just how it works. I've seen it over and over and over again across our portfolio of brands. Having a second pop-up is an absolute must. And the keyword we use internally is double tap. And double tap pop-up is essentially a second nudge that happens later down the funnel. So let's take a step back. Let's think through what is the usual customer experience. Somebody sees some sort of marketing message. It can be an ad, maybe like they found your name somewhere, and then they come to the website with their curiosity pick, right? Like they want to see what's going on the website. And then boom, there's a pop-up immediately telling them get a discount. A large portion of people, this is your 9%, will sign up, get the discount, and then many of them will use it. But many of your visitors, that's the 90% that doesn't actually convert, are gonna say, I don't wanna sign up. I don't wanna give you any of my details now. I just wanna see what's on the website, because they haven't had the time to consume the info within your website. So what they do is that they close the pop-up and then they browse the website. And sadly, many of those will exit the website. That's where the double tap comes in. It works as an additional nudge on top of the main pop-up, targeting the people that stay on your website and show you through their actions on the website that they are interested and have real purchase intent. And then you see that it converts amazingly well. Now you might be thinking, what should the pop-up say? Like, how should it look like? What should it do? And I've opened up an example from one of our clients. Company is called Healf, very, very big, very, very popular company. They're using a full screen experience, which looks like this. There's a Black Friday offer label to kind of nudge people to sign up. There's zero-party data collection, beautiful imagery, full screen. It's perfect as a new offer introducing you to the brand. Thing is, as we discussed, even if this converts at 20%, it means that 80% of people are not interested in it, right? Like that's what it really means. It means that you're failing to convert that 80% that's landing on your website, which means what? That if you have a second pop-up later on, you can capture this portion of your audience that says, I haven't had time to consume info on the website. And you might be thinking, what should the creative say? And frankly, my advice to you is to just duplicate the existing pop-up you have without any change and set it up to trigger later on. Set it to trigger specifically for people that have visited more than one page and have stayed on the website for at least 60 seconds. And you'll see that it will convert, because it's less about the people seeing an offer that they respond to, and it's more about people having had time to consume information on the website, which builds up their interest in signing up. So don't sweat the creative, duplicate what you have, set it live, prove the concept, and then take it from there. But if you really want to get an idea, I'm going to show you how it looks for this company. This is another one of our clients. In this case, it's a playful company, brand personalities, humorous side, so like we're using an emoji, we'll sweeten the deal, etc. The design also looks different. Why? So that it like breaks the pattern of the primary pop-up that people have seen before. But again, all of this is secondary. It's more about targeting users that have had time to consume information on the website. Now, let me answer some questions that you might be having. Those are the questions that typically get. Question number one is, won't this annoy users? And the answer is no, it will not. And you will see this very clearly with your own eyes, because it will convert better than the first pop-up. And if it converts more, it means people are responding more to it, right? In terms of actual website conversion rates, if you are concerned about this, the pop-ups will actually increase your website conversion rate. And you can easily validate this by looking at your store's back end. And to be honest, are you really surprised? Because like, think about yourself. Would you prefer to save money? And the pop-up is essentially saving you money. Or would you prefer not to save money? Most people would prefer to save money, which is why pop-ups tend to increase rather than decrease conversion rates. Second question is, do I need this if I have a teaser? Now, what is a teaser? A teaser, sometimes called bubble, Attentive calls it bubble, is this little static widget that says get 10% 20% off or whatever it says, and then you click on it and it opens up the pop-up. And it was originally created by a company called Privy, and it was popularized by Amped. Then Amped got sold to MailChimp, then Klaviyo developed it, then Attentive did, now there's Alia pop-ups. And all of those companies do so because teasers ultimately work. If you have a teaser, you will end up with a greater total of subscribers and greater total of paying customers than if you didn't have a teaser. But a teaser is also a horrible user experience for mobile users. And if you don't believe me, A, ask your support team. People will complain about teasers. And B, enter your website in incognito through mobile. You'll see that it's blocking out your view. It's annoying. You don't want to be having it constantly be there. So like generally speaking, I only recommend teasers for desktop. And then on top of this, the double tap pop-up is actually a very different mechanism than a teaser. A teaser is passive, right? Basically, people, after a point, they get used to it. They don't really care. It kind of becomes irrelevant to them, especially on desktop where it's kind of small. On mobile, it gets in your face, so it's annoying you in a negative way. And on desktop, you kind of ignore it, right? Like on the other hand, the double tap pop-up is active. It shows up, it brings the offer to you. And both of those appeal to very different types of audiences. So you want to have both. It's not one or the other. Now, before we wrap up, I just want to recap everything super quickly. Out of the 100 people that might be visiting your website, maybe 3, maybe 5 of them are ready to buy, and those are the customers that you see. That's your like website conversion rate. If you have a pop-up, you might capture as many as 20 of them, 20% submit rates, and then some of them will spend more money with your brand later on, which is great. You want to have pop-ups. It's better than not having pop-ups. But even with 20% pop-up conversion rate, it means that you are unable to convert other 80%. And the double tap pop-up is the answer to this. It's the answer to the people that see the first pop-up and they get annoyed and dismiss it because they haven't had the time to consume information on the website. It's a pop-up, triggers later in the journey after they've consumed the info that you wanted to consume. Start by duplicating your current pop-ups. Do not change the creative, leave it exactly as it is, and have the pop-up trigger when people view more than one page or when they scroll more than 30% on a page, and have spent 40 to 60 seconds on your website. This way you'll know you're targeting real traffic who had time to consume info. Try it out. I promise you'll be very surprised by how well this converts on top of your regular pop-ups.